days. And I'm going to ask this question because I probably should know and don't. But anyway, I'm going to ask. Are any of you in the room now not part of either the Chester County or the Philadelphia group? So you're all either Chester or Philly, either CCIU or Philly. Okay, so good news is, or bad news, whichever it turns out to be, I'll get to work with you all year, regardless of where, because there's only one presenter on math, and you're looking at it. All right, so by the end of the year,
you're going to be tired.
I'll be exhausted. And actually, truthfully, before we could even say yes, I had to run it by the boss. And you know, it's like, okay, can I do this? And she said, well, can you do it another night besides Tuesday? Probably not, but I'll ask, because that's what you do. You already know, we're going to do Tuesdays, you know, so I lose that. And the reason Tuesday's a bummer for me is because Tuesday's my day with the little guy. So Tuesday is when I have to do work with you guys. I have to do shorter days with the little man. And we have to find a substitute babysitter for the little guy. And look, as much as I love doing what we're going to do and thinking about what we do with kids, those of you who met me a few years ago know that there's really nothing better in the world than spending time with the little man. So it's the way, you know, teaching's here, and everybody else kind of gets shoved down, and the little man's like one of the pinnacle of it. And those of you who have grandkids of your own, if any of you do, or when you do, I think it'll make sense. It does, for real. When you have kids of your own, like you're so busy trying to make your way in life and provide for your kids, and you know, have somebody recognize you for what you do, you don't have the same kind of time that you have to sink in with a grandchild. Right? One of my friends asked me, do you love your grandkids more than you did your son? That's a loaded question. You know, if you say yes to that, you know your kid's going to hear it.
Yeah.
I said, no, but it's different. And it's hedging, but it is. It's different because you have the time now. Because, like, you know, other than sitting around designing activities for you and I didn't think about, you know, and getting stuff to teach my kids here, I now have time to say, well, that's a really cool Matchbox set. We should get that, because we should, because that's what we did. All right. I decided that the first topic I would look at with you is the topic that I did during Immaculata Week, which was two-dimensional geometry. So the good news, bad news is if you're the guy who presented it, when you show the people the problem types that they might remember from Friday's test at the end of Immaculata Week, they're all going to say, rock on, we got this. Because you're the dude who was in the room when it was done. Obviously, there are 7 other topics that I was not in the room for Immaculata Week when you did them with someone else. And if you've got a certain level of competence and understanding and satisfaction, that's cool. If anything needs to be filled in, then these 2 days are the first opportunities for us to do that. So what's first you're going to teach me today and Friday? First you're going to teach two-dimensional geometry now. Then when we do our afternoon gig, we're going to do three-dimensional geometry, because I love geometry so much. Tomorrow, I'm going to do the 2 statisticses. I'm going to do graphical and numerical. And you're all sitting there, this is going to be good. I think that maybe I'll wear a Packers t-shirt just to break, so some of you can see what a really quality football shirt looks like. I might have to. I'm thinking, yeah, now that I see that Eagle shirt, that's kind of hurt my vision, I'm not going to lie to you. All right. So, for those of you who worked with me for a couple of years, you know I'm a notorious tree killer. I'm making two subtle references, 2 attempts to do something different this year in the grant. First, I'm making a real solid effort to have units as part of my answer. So hopefully we won't say the answer's 9. We'll say it's 9 square inches. Because I am as bad as anybody who's ever talked. And just saying, I got 9! No, you didn't. You got the unit too. So I'm going to try that. I'm going to try to make a concerted effort there. And I'm going to try to do more wiki than I've ever done before. Which isn't hard, because before it was this much. I was wikiless. I might have been the anti-wiki. I might have been, you go to Firster's room and he's going to hand you stuff. And I'm not going to lie to you, part of me still really likes to do that. So when you come in for the 4 topics that I'm going to present, I'm going to give you a handout for each of the topics. All right? Because that's the little teacher that lives inside of me and has been there for 37 years. So you're still going to get stuff. However, I want to show you what I'm going to do. And it's not up yet on the wiki. And my son told me last night that one of my files can't be downloaded on the wiki. So I guess I got to talk to Steve. I have a wiki breakdown. Wiki malfunction. All right. I created this document. And it's gonna house everything that you and I might look at. All right? So truthfully, it's going to happen. We'll start looking at problems. When you're satisfied, I brought activities. Because what I want us to get is a chance to take, I got something first that I could use with my kids. The challenge is if you're a presenter here, you got elementary people in front of you, you got middle school people in front of you, you got high school people in front of you. And I think the bulk of you folks are middle, maybe, high, just too high. They're in their own island. It's like the high school island over here. I'll row by, throw them a donut. They'll calculate the surface area. All right, and the rest of you are all middle school, and that's cool. So what I tried to do is I tried to find something that you could use at your level. Maybe not everything at your level, but something you could use at your level. And when we talked at Immaculata Week, and again, this is not the perspective of the folks who designed the grant. This is simply the perspective of somebody who's sat in these rooms like you have for a long time. And at the end of the day, you say, did I get something I could use? And if you did, it was worth it. If you didn't, all right, maybe you got a donut and you watched Firster and he talked like this a lot, and then you went home, and you were just glad that he was gone because he was mean to you and you wore an Eagle shirt. And he shouldn't have been mean to you, but probably had to because you didn't know any better and you wore an Eagle shirt. Tomorrow you should all wear Packer shirts. Do any of you have a Packer shirt? All right, well then tonight you need to go shopping. All right, that's an excuse to go shopping. All right, anyway, this will be on the wiki. I did it myself. And there's the one we're going to open fire on shortly. I'll give you my handout. And then I found 3 activities. All right, and if it was a web-based activity, a hyperlink. Now, maybe you people will know more than I do if you're a wiki user. If you pull this baby down off the wiki, will the hyperlinks still work? They will. Sweet. All right. So the web-based ones are hyperlinked. And in case you think I'm making this up, check it out. Watch this. Control and click. Oh yeah, dropping a coin onto a grid. All right, good. So the ones that are not hyperlinked, that have other files that were just like 20 pages that were lesson plans and worksheets and things like that that you could steal and use. If they're PDFs, you'll see down here it says, see the PDF file named whatever. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to port it all onto the wiki. I did print some stuff. I did, just to showcase, so you'll be able to grab some things. But the bulk of what you're going to see on my 4 presentations is all kind of housed in this document. So I don't know if there's a special place for follow-up days on the wiki. Probably not. It probably just goes in the Immaculata thing. I don't know. But you'll find this somewhere if you're a wiki user. Or if you ever say, I wonder what Firster was flapping around when he talked about that theme park geometry. I kind of dug that from my middle school people. My high school friends say, oh wow, I get my kids do like angles of elevation from the top of the roller coasters. Absolutely, because I got 2 different ones. One's very heavy high, and one's very, very like, let's find the areas of the rides, you know? So the middle school folks could maybe really design and dig. All right, so this will go to the wiki, along with any file that's referenced, and you see if you just scroll down, you'll see all of the 4 things that Dell's going to do, all in the same document. Cool, cool? All right, it's not there yet, but it will be wiki bound eventually. That's today's schedule. Everybody cool on the schedule for today? Those of you who were part of this package last year or years previous, I don't know. Was last year the first year we had you design a presentation kind of thing? So we're going to do something like that again. And if you're new to the whole grant thing, it's not evaluative. I kind of look at it more as you're doing something you share with your friends that they can maybe take out and say, that's pretty sweet, I want to use that with my kids. And I don't think we get enough time to do enough of that as a teacher. So that's kind of why we're going to do it. And when we come back from lunch, we're going to do 1 block, and I'm not sure if you're over there or over here, it says up there, you can look. And then there's like, I think we allowed like a half hour for questions. Jason asked if I would be willing to take the questions, because I've been here. So I think we're all going to meet here for the questions, or at least the first part. Then the last part of today is basically planning. You know, you can't ask teachers to do something without some plans. If you're new to the whole gig, you can do a solo mission if you want yourself, or if you want to buddy up with somebody, or even you feel bad for some guy who's got an Eagles t-shirt and you want him to be part of your group because, you know, if he gets up there, he's going to say things like, Donovan McNabb's the best quarterback that's ever played in the NFL. And you're really worried that things like that could end badly. So you might want to help those folks out. So I could certainly understand that. And maybe have you part of your group. All right, we're going to do 2D geometry. So I got a handout. Oh, I sent an email out. Shoot, I don't know when. Monday, maybe? No, it wasn't Monday. It was later than Monday. Maybe it was Monday. What the heck's today? Thursday? It might have been Monday. Did you get my email?
Yes.
Monday. No.
It was Monday.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sweet, so it got to all of you. I got bounced back. Apparently the people who teach in Philly, that must be a pretty harsh email censor. You got it? I don't know. I bounced
back. I didn't get it.
Yeah, I got bounced 4 back. Personal, you got it.
Yes.
Okay. Is that where you got it too on personal?
Yeah.
I just blanketed
Maybe
it.
my
1029A.
Okay. 1029. Not that you keep track of stuff like that, because that would be weird. All right. This is Foerster's two-dimensional packet. And in it, you see, let me give it to you and I'll tell you what you see. Then you can read. Well, the guy's an Eagles fan. We're just going to presume. It's like, dang, this is your first year in the grant too, isn't it? I should be nice to you. Here we go.
No, you know what you're doing.
I should. It's like,
That's my deal.
it's like, when they came out to the school and said, this is a great opportunity. He said, yeah, this is a sweet deal. And then it's like, ah, shoot, the instructor's merciless. I might wear a Packer shirt tomorrow. I might.
Do it.
You want to wear a Brett Favre jersey.
I have a Brett Favre jersey.
Are you like, is that like your boy?
Well, it was before he kind of like fell and hit his head and started doing some things that you maybe shouldn't take pictures of and send out to others. We'll just leave it at that to reporters.
I wear my Reggie White.
Do you have a Reggie White jersey? That's an Eagles jersey, though.
It's an Eagles Reggie White jersey.
You all know that if Reggie White was still alive going into the Hall of Fame, you know which jersey you wear now.
Unfortunately, yes. Eagles.
That's what I wasn't drinking my coffee. Yeah, because he won so many Super Bowls in Philly. Oh wait, there's that round number again. All right, here's what we're gonna do. You probably don't care, but in case you are curious, what I did on top of the documents is I targeted the two Common Core standards that we've chosen for year one of the grant material. So as it relates to two-dimensional geometry, there they are. Good. You can read them if you want to. If you don't care, light it on fire. Today's agenda for this group today. Any questions or concerns that you have on the test kind of questions? And in a minute, we're going to see that Foerster has a selection of problems that may look vaguely familiar. The one question that was posed during the Immaculata week was, can we get a formula sheet and why don't we have one? So that's actually two questions. So in previous years, to be honest with you, I didn't feel like I had enough standing in this program that I could make a heck of a lot of waves, because I was the newbie. So I'm not the newbie anymore. So I actually kind of think, listening to the people, it makes sense to have one. So I'm going to ask as we delve into the problems, or with your recollections and assistances, that we could maybe decide what formulas you think should be on that sheet. We'll go section by section. So for this group, it'll just be relative to two-dimensional geometry. Tomorrow when we visit and we talk about z-scores, somebody's going to say, you know what, Del? We better have the dang z formula up there, because I wouldn't know a z if it fell out of the sky and hit me in the head. All right, so that's where we're going to go. All right, what do you got for me, Del? I got 3 activities, the last of which actually has a 2 slant. It's that geometry theme park thing. So I never have enough time. I mean, you were with me last summer and I had popcorn in front of the room. We were going to do all kinds of cool stuff. I talk too dang much. It's really what I do. I'm mean to the Eagle fans quite often. So I don't know how many of the activities we'll actually get to do today with me and you in the room. But if we get to bust on the Eagle fan, that's a high spot for all of us anyway. So anything beyond that's gravy. That's the way I look at it. So we'll start with looking at problems that are attached. If you flip through, I called them test-like problems. And if you have good remembrances from Friday's test here at Immaculata, where I was absolutely floored by the fact that they didn't have us proctor. Like, I went out and said, can I proctor my people? And they said, no, you should go home. And I said, sweet, because Grandma's watching Connor. And I said, that's going to be a cool deal. They won't expect me. So it was a nice surprise. So while I didn't get to see what you guys thought of the test, at least the group that I left, I did provide candy. Because chocolate makes the world go round. All right, so anyway, some of these problems might be the exact same problem from the test. Some of them are Del sitting there editing problems that you may have remembered from the test. Some of them are just Del having fun creating stuff. I'm actually gonna, and look, I will tell you, I purposely took all of the multiple choice look away, because one of the things that I think is a challenge, maybe not so much for the levels that you guys teach, but for the folks who were here previously, the elementary people, they don't do a lot of hardcore math. They don't, and maybe even where you guys are teaching, you're involved in percents and I don't know what the devil you're doing with your middle school grades, but it's let's fund the area of this sector. Like you call it, what's a sector? All right. Anyway, so I purposely took away any reference to multiple choice, and I think there are 9. So on the test that you tried, on Friday, at the end of Immaculata Week, any of these 9 problems could have been there, or modifications thereof. And what I wanted to do first, before I do anything with you, is see if there's anything in that set of 9 problems that bothers you. Anything where you say, look, part of the deal is at the end of this program, I'm going to score better than I did at the beginning. It would be really good if somebody taught me how to do that problem. So I can be the teacher. I'm not just another pretty face. All right? I don't just pick on people who wear Eagle shirts. In theory, I can actually teach. And you're not believing it yet, but there is some truth to that. Right? There are 37 years of observations that say this guy actually has a clue. He's vicious to Eagle fans. You have to feel bad about it. Are you
I'm
nervous?
a Eagles fan.
Oh,
Why
I
are you picking on me?
Kicking you
You're
too.
teaching a Philadelphia CCIU section.
I know.
Everyone in here is an Eagles
So what you're
fan.
saying is this
Not
kid-
an Eagles
so
fan.
it's, no, see,
You're
no,
on the
no,
outside.
See, here's what I know about peer pressure. You can't ask that question, because if there's somebody in here who's a Steelers fan, they won't raise their hand. They won't. Now, you know I'm a Packer fan. Obviously, if you've read it.
Where in Wisconsin did you
I
grow up?
Yeah,
grew up
that's
in
what we
Pennsylvania.
believe, well,
Oh,
then
that's
we
bad
believe
parent.
that, yeah.
That's right.
I tell the kids that's fantastic.
Yeah.
They're Cowboys fans especially.
Right, yeah.
You gotta love them. They believe every year.
Can't choose.
They have
a
no
team.
reason to believe. You can't. Yes, you can choose your team.
No.
No.
You're right into it.
You guys, you all listen to Mike Missinelli. All right, take a minute, flip through the 9. If there's a problem there that you would like to talk about, we can talk about it, we can do it. The only thing, all right, you caught me dead to rights on this one. Problem number 1. You see the sketch? You see the little shaded section?
Yeah, she's
All right,
there.
in the wording of the problem, it tells you that I want that angle that's on top to be 100 degrees. But if you look at the sketch, that sure as shooting doesn't look like 100. It looks like 60.
So keep it at 6.
Keep it at 100.
Keep it at
Keep it at 100. So if you want to match answers with Dell's answers in a minute, use 100. If you want a straight shot, on the test it was a 60. All right, so that problem from the test had a 60-degree angle. Cross out the 60. If you want to match your answer to mine, later on, if like that's the ultimate day for you, I matched Dell. I did mine with 100. I had that at 100. And then the sneaky thing is, even though that's 100 degrees, you really don't care about the 100 because you want the other arc. Right? You want the big arc. You want the big sector. So it's nice that that's 100, but that should give you some info about the other guy because he's really more pertinent to the problem. So I got that guy, I got area of sector. On problem number 2, I won't tell you how long I tried to get that little outside edge to be colored pretty. I got about everything on my screen colored except that. And then I finally just wimped out and put like heavy slashes and said they'll understand that's what I want for the shaded area. So it's just that outside edge, it's the segment, the crust area I was looking for. And that is a 90-degree angle, and that makes that problem a whole lot happier. Having a 90 there is a good thing. Problem 3, I actually used a new thing to draw my circles, and it works pretty well, but it's pretty small to see the letters. So I might actually go back to math type. It might actually be better to WinPlot. It might be a little better because the letters are bigger. Criticized by Dell, there's a nice drawing there on the bottom of this page underneath number 4 that talks about Sparky wrapping presents. That drawing actually pertains to problem 5, which is unfortunately for you on the next page. So that's bad editing by me. Then there's a little grid and we find some areas, or no, I guess we find perimeter of the triangle. The goat, I brought the goat back. I think I changed the shed. I think before the shed was 5x4. Don't quote me on that, I think it was. I think I changed the shed. I didn't draw a picture because I figured now you know what the picture looks like because that's we looked at the picture before. I think the pond problem was straight off the test. I think it was. Problem number 8 I think was straight off the test. I don't think there's any change. I don't think I changed that at all because I think it was even Amy and Abby and Tracy. I don't think I changed the names. Sometimes I edit. I think I didn't change much on that. I did change something on number 9. If you remember when we were here at Immaculata Week, we made the box to put the albums in, and it cost like hundreds of dollars. I actually got a little more sensitive with the cost of the materials here, so now she'll make the box. I also changed the music reference. I brought Saturday Night Fever. I was going to sing some Bee Gees things with you. But you're all Eagles fans, so you probably have the Bee Gees. Especially you, because you go to like DMX concerts. And it scares me a little bit. I'm like, I think he's in jail now, actually. think he is.
I wouldn't
He's
know.
troublesome.
Yeah, I think he's in
Yeah,
jail.
he's got like.
Federal.
Yeah,
prison.
DMX is not the kind of guy you want for a role model for your 10-year-old son. When I grow up, I want to be DMX. Oh dear. All right, take a minute and look through. I didn't write the answers on here. I have on my copy, see it says my copy? My copy. I have answers. So if anybody, for all of my sections. So what I thought I might do if you're interested is just sit down, take a sheet of paper and write the answers down. And if anybody wants the answers for all of the stuff that I've done, you can have them. You're welcome to them if you wish. And if you don't care, that's cool too.
He was driving without a license. He's parking.
Oh, you looked up what he was
South
doing?
Carolina in February of 2013.
And that's what they caught him on.
And then he was arrested again July 26th and charged for DUI and driving without a license.
He's an Eagles fan.
All
All right,
He's a
take a
big
minute.
one.
If there are any that you would like to look at, any that you would like to do, we will do that. When did you tell me you get out of here? What time? You know something.
10:40.
I rely on you for that information.
10:40.
Not that you're looking at the clock. It's like, how many of you didn't get the schedule?
We got the schedule.
You got the schedule from Stan. Well, I didn't have a choice because they took the first block for the, hi, welcome back to Immaculata follow-up meeting. I didn't know they were going to do that when I sat down and knocked out the original. I thought the most important part of the schedule was giving you an hour for lunch.
That's cool.
Yeah,
It's
that's
a working lunch.
I was, yeah. Did he explain the working
And we
lunch?
don't
bit?
even have a long line today.
Fill out that
so-
paper.
No.
I'm gonna get
What
lunch.
paper? Did he give you paper?
Yeah.
Just leave it on the table in there.
Okay, all right.
Not at all.
I'm giving you my spin on the working lunch. You ready? So you got his if you want to do it. I'm giving you option number 2 from Dell. That's what I would do if I were you. Option number 2 from Dell. And this is straight out from Dr. Morgan's work. They can't pay you for 8 hours unless it's a working lunch. So that's why it has to say working. So when we submit stuff for them, it has to say working lunch. So whatever Jason gave you, obviously you're free to do. What I told my first group to do was the lunch bit for today, because you know, well, you got some problems you can sit around dangling those if you want to. But think about for the presentation stuff. If you want to do your own thing, or if you want to buddy up with somebody, maybe put your heads together, come up with a topic or whatever. If your friend's going to work with you, so that you have a commonality. This afternoon, after any questions are kind of hashed about, you do get like an hour and a half just to put your heads together and plan. And then tomorrow, at the end, the one thing we did last year that I thought was a little squirrely, I'm not sure why we did it. Like one group planned with one instructor and then presented to the other one. So anyway, we're going to plan today and then you'll present tomorrow to the same group with the same instructor. So like if you came to me and said, Dale, what do you think about this for my statistics portion? Because I need to teach statistics. So to me it made sense if you and I had shared some ideas that I'd want to see that, So I kept that when I built the schedule. I didn't flip it because I think last year we flipped. We did. All right. Are there any problems on there that you would like me to grab a stick of chalk and talk about? Like I said, I did this with you here. So if you push me on it, I would love to stand in front of you and say, we did enough of this for Immaculata Week that you already had an idea what was going to be there. And if you didn't, you can ask me about it. Because even though I mean to people wear Eagles gear, I truly do believe that I'm approachable with questions. I do. Like I don't go home and update my Facebook page saying the following people asked me questions, they didn't have a clue. And by the way, this guy had an Eagles shirt on. Are there any you would like to do?
2 or 3.
2 or 3. You're going to give me an option.
Well, 2 confused me because it says the radius.
Okay. 2 gives you the radius,
But
and
then I'm
then
trying to figure out like
you
the
want that just that
area.
outside area. All right. So look, if I was your team, I'm going to put this
How do you
together.
know the height of the triangle?
This is 100 instead of 60.
That's cool.
It tells you 100 in the paragraph, but in the picture it's.
All right. You said 2, right? Let me erase. We'll reset the board. Oh, the other thing, as we're going through this, we started a list. Like I said, the formula thing.
That's number 3.
I know. I'm going to erase it.
Oh, okay. 'cause I have a
I'll talk
question.
about it if you want me to. We started a list with the group that was here previously about what kind of formulas should be on there. They decided that they would like the distance formula, the midpoint formula, formulas for area of circles and triangles. And later, when you come back after lunch and we do what the devil we're going to do after lunch, we're going to do 3-dimensional geometry. Somebody's going to say, you know what, Del? It'd be really swell if you had formulas on there for like volume of a sphere. Because most of us don't carry that knowledge around, you know? Shoot, even when I taught AP Calc, I didn't know that I carried that knowledge around. I think I looked it up before I did the lesson. You know, we did the related rate problems where the sphere was growing or whatever. All right, erase the board. Talk about number 2. The one thing that's very nice about that problem, believe it or not, is the 90-degree angle. Okay? So you and I are going to do it in stages. Pretend that's a circle, and that is hideous chalk. I'll try again. And I think it goes out like so. This is supposed to be the center of the circle. How long is the radius? Is it 8? Is it 10?
10.
It's 10. Do I give you a unit or not?
Inches.
Inches, sweet. So I don't get to write like a unit squared, which annoys the heck out of me. All right, so if I said to you, regardless of where you teach, do your kids need to know how to find the area of a circle? You'd say yes. All right, so let's start there. Let's find the area of the whole dang thing. So the area of the whole circle is pi times radius squared. And according to us, the radius appears to be 10. So that's going to be pi times 10 squared. Now I'll do the hard stuff, that's 100 pi. Cool, cool? All right. Now, the way that problem looks, even though it looks like a third grader did the sketching at the end, certainly not all of the circle is shaded in. There's just a little bit of an edge on there. So here's what I did for the folks who were here before. I said, you know what? If I did this for you and said, is there a part of the circle shaded in? You say, yeah, there is. Certainly not the whole circle, Del, but a part of the circle. And as it turns out, it's actually a part that I think most kids can identify with, because I think this is 90 degrees, I believe. So if I were to insult all of you and say, all right, if that's a 90-degree angle, what part of the circle is shaded in? Quarter. So here's the Michael Jordan teaching geometry. The whole circle's good for 360. You got 90 of them. So you build a fractional part, right? And he knew a fourth right away. And that's where the 1/4 comes from if you take the time to reduce. So if I were to say, let's see, if I color it all, that area would be 100 pi. And you're sitting there saying, Dale, you only have a fourth of it colored. Well, then what's colored in now should be a fourth of 100 pi, shouldn't it? All right? When I was a kid back in the day, we did cancels and reduces because we didn't have calculators. So that's 25 pi, I think. All right, so now that's not the answer to the question. It's not. That's the answer to what's colored now. Dig it? Okay, so I know this is a good visual even for the elementary people, middle school people. We want kids to think about math, not just memorize math. And here's how you teach them to think, because I used to get very distressed. I'd hand my kids a couple of numbers and say, what do you think we do? And sometimes they just guessed, you know, multiply. It's like, oh, that hurts, you know? So here's a really good visual. That's the answer that's colored down, 25 pi. You already know from looking at the picture, what you're asked to find is just that outside edge, right? So as soon as I grab this eraser and go, because that's the area I don't want included anymore, your kids now should have some notion that you're going to lower that. You're going to diminish that. You're going to take something from it. Because that's what I just did. You know, that's how we let kids think about things. All right, well, I'm going to take away, because I took away area. And this is the part where having a 90-degree angle here is actually making life very happy for us. It's a triangle, and what you've been taught about areas of triangles is that you can find the area if you have 1/2 base and height. And the thing that's significant about that formula is base and height have to be at a 90-degree reference. They have to be perpendicular. So if Forster changes this son of a gun and doesn't give you a 90, this problem's nasty. Because then you got to sing and dance to get your heights and bases. You know, and some of you have done geometry and you do 30, 60, 90 right triangles, you can fit them in here. I think I gave you a formula for what we did that had trig. I believe it used the sine function, so maybe that's the easiest out. All right, good news for us. We're living large, we've got donuts, we're tolerating the Eagle fans, and we have base and height because of the 90, right? And truthfully, the problem that was on the test for you guys on Friday had a 90. It did. All right, I took good care of you on that problem. It's a whole other ballgame if that 90 is a 70. You know, then honestly, I'm saying, hey, let me load up another formula over there and don't get allergic if you see SIN written there as a sine function, not a sin. All right? So here goes. Area of the triangle, Del? Yep, area of the triangle, Del. Both the base and the height are radii. Each one's a radius. So I got a half of 10 times 10. So I might as well get that was 50. All right, so at the end of the day, here's what I think the answer is. 25 pi, take away the triangle area, which I now believe to be 50. So if you know, when I was teaching, that we usually just left it there. I think that's, you know, it's exact. So I like it. If you follow the directions and they say use 3.14 or something like that, I don't know, I even say that on this one. Sometimes I did. All right, if you follow the directions, somewhere I have it written down, I can read it out. But if you wrote, like if it's a free response problem, you know, and you wrote 25 pi minus 50, yeah, they got to mark that bad boy correct. Yeah.
Why, this might be a stupid question, but why is it 25 pi? Why isn't it just 25 times?
3.14?
Yeah. Why?
It is.
No, but I mean, why is it written that way?
Why am I resisting that?
I want to know, yeah.
I want to know. It's a good song by Creedence Clearwater. Have you ever seen the rain? I want to know. You don't know that song, do you?
I do.
You've seen Tupac and all those other heads.
Tupac.
You don't know Creedence. Yeah. All right. Here's why. If you see, because you do that with high school kids, it drives them nuts. That's even more fun than picking on Eagles fans. All you have to say is Tupac. Everybody in the room will go, it's Tupac. You know, even the people who are gangster rappers. You know, they're all the people who listen to country music. You know, I'm listening to Rascal Flatts, but it's Tupac. You know, get all fired. Here's why I don't want to change it. All right, mathematically, this is where most kids are introduced for the first time to irrational numbers. Pi. Right? And we actually do kids a disservice. I'm not blaming you, all right? This is not a shot at any of you. It's us just as guilty. We tell kids to use 3.14 for pi. But it's not 3.14. In fact, pi is very ugly because it's the first interaction we have with a number that doesn't terminate and it doesn't repeat as a decimal. So why is Dell going to hold the phone and just keep the pi in there? Because that's exact. As soon as you take a value and have me plug it in for pi, which is what we do. Honestly, I'm not busting your chops. Right? It's what we do with kids. We say use this for pi. The option we used to have when I was a kid was use 3.14 or 22/7. Because back in the day, they convinced us the fractions were our friends. And sometimes they did that to us. And then they gave us numbers here that 7 would divide into nicely. You know, they were taking care of the seconds. So that's why you don't want to change it. Because as soon as you make the change, you've taken away precision. You've taken away accuracy. So if you say, hey, Dell, I use 3.14. Okay, you got an answer. You said, hey, Dell, I use the pi key on my calculator. You probably have more precision. You're going to get a different answer. I had a kid in class a few years ago who memorized pi to 100 decimal spots. Why? I don't know. Because I told him, you know, once you get past 3.14159, you can be saying anything. Because I don't know any of the rest of the digits. So if you want to plug a number in, the amount of digits that you keep on that plug-in number affects your accuracy. If you don't make me plug in, I am stone cold, brutally accurate. Anything else is an approximation.
Okay.
Okay? That's really why. Cool?
Yeah.
Yes.
Just curious.
All right. And your assignment for tonight, go home to YouTube, all right, because you guys live on YouTube, and Google Creedence Clearwater Revival. The song is Have You Ever Seen the Rain?
I've heard the song.
Oh, it's a great song. It's a great song.
I'll look it up.
Check it out. You won't be
Probably
disappointed.
play it right now on your iPad.
I could. Maybe I will. As we break out, you know, I'll load that baby up. Actually, that's the biggest change teaching here as opposed to where I used to teach at the high school level, where they blocked everything. Like, you could never do that in a high school setting. Like, I couldn't pull up YouTube at all, even as a teacher. Like, if I had something I wanted to show my kids, I had to get approval. Not here. I want to pull up a Tupac video, I got it. Just look on my brand. All right.
It's never going to talk about music again.
Are you, I want to make sure.
Well, now it's easy. But
Well, no, but that's, can I tell you really the thing that made that problem easiest was the 90? Because without the 90,
I don't know what I was like.
this
I
is
wasn't
just not
paying
going to
attention
happen.
to the rate. Like I was looking at it straight down for some
Okay.
reason. Like I wasn't.
Well, I guess if we wanted to find that distance straight down, in theory we
Like
could.
I was looking at like I
No,
didn't
we
even
definitely
pay
could, because
attention
it cranks
to
up
the
a
side.
45, 90 right triangle. Don't though, you'll hurt yourself. Don't do that. All right. Anything else that you're looking at that you see? I vaguely remember that one from the test, or that one bothers
Three
me.
as well.
Which one?
She wanted three.
Oh, she wanted 3? Oh, shoot, I had it up there on our instant.
Well, 3, just a quick question for that. Is that keeping the same as 10?
Is it keeping the radius 10?
Yeah.
I don't
because
think it
doesn't
matters.
say. Oh, it
I
doesn't
don't think it matters.
Ah.
On that one, because what you're being asked about in that problem is the angles. So here's my sketch for 3. Once again, I drew something that actually looks like a circle. That's good. That's the center, and it comes out and it cuts an arc.
Yeah, that's
Okay?
smart.
So,
Plot, sorry.
This is point A, this is point B, and this is point C. All right, check it. The vertex of that angle is at the center of the circle. Cool? Okay. And honest to God, I think the only people who know this in a common use are people who teach in a high school setting, or maybe people who teach geometry. You're playing with arcs and angles and circles. Truthfully, who does it in real life? Most folks don't. But this is a very special case where the vertex is at the center. Okay, so what you want your teacher to make sure you got is that in this case, we call that a central angle, by the way. The measure of the angle and the measure of the arc that it cuts off, that's this guy down here, are the same. So the dude who typed here said, the measure of this angle is 100 degrees. Well, guess what? That means the measure of this arc is also 100 degrees. Now, that's not what the guy asked you about, all right? I know that because I typed this question. All right, so what I want to do now is I want to draw another angle. Catch me on this. I'm going to draw another angle for you because I like you. You don't root for the Eagles. You're swept. Right? But now watch where I'm going to put that into a vertex. It's no longer at center, is it? No, Dale, it's on the circle. Okay? Watch what I do though. I drew that angle, so it's still cutting off that same arc, isn't it? All right, so now here's the other catch that you got to have in terms of, what do I need for this, Dale? This is called an inscribed angle. When the vertex sits on the circle, okay, that's an inscribed. Now, at the end of the day, I don't care less. I care less if you know the name. Call it Harvey for all I care. Call it Donovan, because it'll make meaning for you. The measure of this angle is half the arc that it cuts off.
Okay, that
So
was
the
my
answer to
guess.
this question, 50 degrees.
I thought maybe it was half because it was like diameter versus
No,
radius, so you do
no.
the opposite. Okay.
No, in fact,
I just took a
if anybody ever put, and I don't know, see, I don't know, how much geometry do you guys do like in middle school era? Not much.
It's not a mod.
It's not, no. It's probably like a little area, a little perimeter.
Yeah.
That's probably about it.
Basics.
Yeah.
surface area.
Surface area.
Surface area, volume maybe, a little volume. Yeah. I have, shoot, I'll have to find where, I don't think I have it on this jump drive. I haven't really, like, if the question ever comes up, why is it half? Like, because kids do that. Like, you're the geometry teacher, you say, all right, in this case, the angle's half the arc. Why is it half, Dale? Why is it half, Mr. Verster? Because I wasn't doctor then. Why is it half, Dr. Verster? Because now I'm doctor, right? It's good to have that stuff in your back pocket, because otherwise you have to say, because the book says so. And sometimes we say that anyway, because the answer's too complex for the kids to wrap their brains around. All right. I did 2, I did 3, and you said I had to shut up at 40? So we said 40. I got 11 minutes. Those of you who were here last summer know that I'm not going to be any better than I was then. You took my popcorn home last year, didn't you? No. Somebody did, because I knew I didn't. I thought we should.
Somebody did.
Somebody took my popcorn. Because we're going to do the, that's, I think it was your kids. You said my kids will eat. Yeah, I think it was you. You don't get a bag of popcorn. You're an Eagles fan. That's all. I have about 11 minutes before you're going to get up and leave. Because you're upset because I didn't teach you quantum physics. He wanted to do some quantum physics. I said, look, it's an electron. All right, check it. 9 questions on here, basically parallel what they ask you to do. Those of you who are new to the grant, I mean, if there are any things that I can tell you, as we go on the monthly meetings, one by one, we'll keep the ideas alive, so we'll visit them again. Again, if you're new to the grant, before you take the test at the end, that basically lets them see that you've made progress, there is a review. And all of the 8 topics will be included in the review. And the person who will be out to do the review with you is yours truly. So these ideas will stay alive, and the only reason I'm saying is because I know where a lot of you teach, this isn't stuff you do every day with kids. Much worse when we get to the tomorrow stuff with the statistics. Although there's some things that you do. You know, like you do, shoot, I'm sure you do box and whisker plots, and probably stem and leaf diagrams, all that kind of thing. I'm sure you do. Is there anything you want to ask about those 9 that you didn't get a chance to? Anybody? Are you interested in having the right answers? Would that make you happier if I were to write them up so you could have them tomorrow? I don't have them written up now, but I'm willing to if you want answers. I could post them on the wiki. Wiki, should I? Put my answers on the wiki? Wiki. Okay, all right, let's do this. In the 9 minutes that I have left, I want to show one of my activities. And we don't have enough time to play it. I wish we did, but we don't. Because he's going to leave in 9 minutes and you'll all follow him. Because he's your leader.
Me?
He is. He knew what time everybody had to go. Because he's got the indestructible case for his iPad.
11:40. That's right.
All right.
It's worth the investment.
When you get to the wiki and pull down all that big document that I showed you earlier that has activities by Dell, unfortunately not many of which we're going to get to do. Bummer. All right. Do check it. If you're a middle school teacher, 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, the amusement park geometry thing is really good. But the whole thing is, it's got lesson plans, it's got all the sheets. All right. I ran some of them off. This isn't the one I'm going to discuss, but it's okay. I'm going to hold it up anyway. But it basically challenges your kids to design an amusement park with a certain amount of criteria that they have to have. Like the park has to be, it's got to have this many rides that are at least this big. The paths have to be at least this wide. You know, so it's very cool. So if you're a middle school era, 6, 7, 8, and you got some geometry you want to throw in for perimeters and areas and stuff like that, it's useful. If you're a high school teacher and you said, I want these kids to design something that shows me that they have really good geometry knowledge and some trig knowledge, I got one. And it's dang good, but it's a lot harder. A lot harder. And the person that submitted it suggested it as an end-of-year activity, like an end-of-year project. It's very good. They're here. I ran them because I'm a tree killer. So that they're also linked on the wiki. I'll put the whole file. So you can pull up the whole dang lesson plan. All the worksheets are in. I want to talk to you about this one. And I brought it on purpose because a large number of the people I'm going to meet today are middle school and elementary. And I think one of the things that's tough for you guys is people like me who teach at a college don't know what you do with kids. Now, honestly, I have a better idea what you do with kids because my son is one of you, all right? And we'll sit and talk about it. I'm tremendously respectful of what you guys do with elementary kids. But anyway, I thought this was pretty cool. And this is a hyperlink on the little wiki thing that I'll upload. But what you do, and if anybody wants, you're welcome to take it. I ran it off, you can take it. You know, and the activity will cost you peanuts. You get a grid. See the grid? Little squares. So I would suggest you put your little munchkins in groups of 2. And you can even do it with kids in high school levels where you got some serious area discussions and some probability discussions. You know, you're a probability and statistics person, you can do it here. All right, so you got areas. Everybody on board? You hand your kids a penny. All right, so they get a sheet of paper and they get a penny. Now, obviously, here's what's going to happen. You're going to lay the penny on the desk or on the floor or wherever you have little doofuses working, and they're going to drop the penny onto the grid. Everybody okay so far? Okay. One of 2 things can happen. The penny's going, well, one of 3 things can happen. The penny can roll away, which will happen, and the kids will knock each other over chasing it. Most of the Eagle fans will be trampled. That's okay, they're Eagle fans. They're expected. Anyway, the penny can land in its entirety in one of the squares. Everybody on track? Yeah. Could happen, Del. Could happen. Or the penny can land so that it's touching at least one of the lines. Cool, cool? All right, for us, at least one could be 1 or 3. All right? All right, so before you do anything, explain what you're going to have your kids do. Cost, because some of us teach in places where we don't have a lot of supplies. You got 1 dang sheet of paper that I'll give you and a penny. Word, I can do that. So even if they steal the penny, I'm still okay. I'll still be able to buy a Snickers bar on the way home from school. Because I didn't spend money on an Eagles t-shirt. Gonna drop the pen. Before you do anything, suppose we're going to ask them to drop 100, all right, 100 times. you ask your kids, how many times do you think it's gonna land entirely inside a square? Now, I'm just throwing it out. You know, I mean, I held it up. And what some of you have visualized is the penny, in theory, is considerably smaller than one of the little squares. So I guess I should ask you, can you see how area could be discussed with your kids? Circle, yeah. Square, yeah. Some kid's gonna say, hold on, Cursor. There's lots of squares. Here's a good question for you. Does it matter how many squares there are? Because what we're gonna agree to do is if the penny falls off the grid, we're not gonna count that drop. The drops only count when the penny stays on the grid. So does the size of the grid matter at Hill of Beans? Good question for you. What you're going to ask your probability kids to do is what's the probability that out of 1,000 tosses, what's the probability it lands square inside? It's geometric probability. It's scary. No, actually, I don't care where you teach. If you teach 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade. If you hit this website, and it's on the little document, right? I printed this because I thought, hey, I can make those, right? I didn't print much else from this. And I get next to no time because in 6 minutes he's leaving you out of here. And you're all going to follow him like the Pied Piper because he's got a cool case on his iPad. Right? In 6 minutes you're on. And you're going back over there for I don't know what. I don't know. But then you're going to go to lunch. And the coolest thing of the day is you got a whole hour for lunch. And you can think about activities or do whatever it is that Jason asked you to do. And then you and I will do a gig, I think, after lunch. And then we set up the question stuff, okay? So I think there's like block 4 is you and I doing our last thing, then we transition into the activities, okay? And Jason asked if I'd be willing to take at least the first part of the questions for the whole group because he's kind of where I used to be, new to the whole gig. So we'll probably all just come over here and start here and you'll say, sweet, and then you'll leave. Well, I guess, you know, you got this for next to nothing. You got a couple of pennies, and I actually dug them out of my penny drawer. If anybody doesn't have a penny drawer, you're welcome to some of mine, right? I throw all my change into the big thing, and once a year I take it and cash it in. I love seeing the numbers come up. And then when I go to Vegas, that's what I take on. Once a year, all my change goes to Vegas. How much do you think it turns out? You're an Eagles fan. How much?
600.
Not bad. Just under. Just under. Yeah. And I play nickel video poker, so that goes a long way. Yeah. See, I'm mathematically savvy enough to know that they're going to beat me if I stay there and play. So once I get ahead, I said, sweet, let's go find a buffet. All right. So when you in 2 minutes, because he's going to leave, when you come up, I'm really sad I didn't get to show. I got a really cool activity. If any of you teach 6th grade, some of you might. The notion about perimeter as it relates to area, it's a video, all right? And when we were here at Immaculata Week, I don't often subscribe to things, even if they're free, because I get too much crap email in my email box anyway. All right? So anyway, I subscribe to a thing called the Learning Channel, and it's videos. And maybe some of you remember, and if you are, you'll kind of have an idea. It's math and it's English. So if you do other subjects besides just math, there'll be other stuff as well. There's a real, it's linked, okay? It's linked. And I don't think you need to even join to see it. But I also ran off the handouts for that. All right, and I apologize because I really had some good stuff and I just didn't get to do it because you're all going to leave. All right. Any questions, headaches, heartaches? All right, when you come up, if anybody wants, I ran extras. So you can take one for yourself, take one for a friend. If somebody's normally here and not here because they went to a different place and you want to take handouts for them, you're welcome to do that. When you get up here, this and this are the geometry things, the amusement park. This is the little kid one. This is the high school heavy metal one. All right. If you pull them up and I'll put the files in, you get everything. The lesson plans, the whole enchilada. The handouts, you can tweak them, don't have to tweak them. They're like little pictures for little munchkins. There's little pictures for little munchkins. And if you say my high school kids are jaded, they don't like pictures, lots of words. All right. If you want those, grab those. This is the lesson plan that goes with that video that I was telling you about, the relationship between perimeter and area. All right, so you can check it out if you want. All right, I'm gonna cut you loose. Grab some handouts if you wish. Go back and visit Jason. Take another donut if you want one, because it's still another hour and 7 minutes, I guess, before lunch. Do you have any questions for me? All right, have a donut.